In this video, we're diving into a topic that every proud Indian needs to hear: how India can take a bold stand against Pakistan by rethinking our approach to the Indus Waters Treaty, sending a clear message that we will not tolerate their terrorism and aggression. The title of this video is India's Strategic Triumph: Reclaiming Control over the Indus to Counter Pakistan's Evil Agenda. This is about India's strength, sovereignty, and right to protect our interests against a hostile neighbor. So grab a chai, smash that like button, and let's get started. For decades, Pakistan has waged a relentless proxy war against India, sponsoring terrorist groups like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba to attack our cities, kill our people, and destabilize Kashmir. Their so-called Bleed India with 1,000 cuts strategy relies on cowardice, hiding behind lies while occupying parts of Kashmir, what we rightfully call Pak-occupied Kashmir, or POK. But India is no longer the soft target they think we are. The 1960 Indus Waters Treaty, which governs the shared Indus River system, is a tool we've honored despite Pakistan's treachery. This treaty gives India control over the eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej, while Pakistan gets the western rivers, Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, with India allowed limited use for irrigation and run-of-the-river projects. But imagine if India took a bold step, building reservoirs, dams, or canals on the western rivers to assert our rights and pressure Pakistan to end their terror games. Today, I'm going to break down why this could be a game changer, the legal and diplomatic challenges Pakistan might try to throw at us, and why India's strength and global standing will ensure we come out on top, crushing Pakistan's malicious plans. The Indus Waters Treaty, signed in 1960 with World Bank mediation, has survived wars and crises, but it's time to rethink its terms in light of Pakistan's unending hostility. The treaty's framework, with its permanent Indus Commission and three-tiered dispute resolution, discussion, neutral expert, and arbitration, was meant for cooperation, not for rewarding a nation that sponsors terror. Pakistan depends on the Indus waters for their agriculture and survival, and they've exploited our goodwill under the treaty while attacking us. If India were to construct dams or reservoirs on the western rivers, significantly altering their flow, it would be a strategic masterstroke to hold Pakistan accountable. Pakistan would cry foul, claiming we're violating the treaty, but their own actions, from the 2008 Mumbai attacks to the 2025 Pahalgam bombing, justify India taking decisive measures to protect our people. Legally, Pakistan might scream about a treaty violation, pointing to the principle of Pacta sunt servanda from the Vienna Convention, which demands honoring agreements. They could invoke Article 9 of the treaty and drag us to the Permanent Court of Arbitration, whining that we're obstructing their water flow. They might even try to invoke customary international water law, like the 1997 UN Watercourses Convention's no harm and equitable use principles, claiming their right to water is being infringed. But let's be clear, their legal case is weak. India could argue that Pakistan's cross-border terrorism constitutes a fundamental change of circumstances, undermining the treaty's foundation. International law, as seen in the ICJ's Gabčíkovo-Nagymaros case between Hungary and Slovakia, sets a high bar for unilateral withdrawal. But Pakistan's persistent aggression gives India a moral and strategic justification. Enforcement is another hurdle for Pakistan. India's reservations limit ICJ jurisdiction, and the World Bank, a treaty guarantor, only facilitates, not enforces. In May 2025, the World Bank refused to intervene beyond its technical role, leaving Pakistan with little leverage. Their legal threats are just noise, meant to distract from their own failures. Pakistan might try to escalate this to global forums, running to the UN Security Council and claiming water denial is a threat to peace. They could push for General Assembly resolutions condemning India, hoping to rally diplomatic pressure. But India's global clout dwarfs Pakistan's. As a $4 trillion economy and a leader in the Quad, G20, and BRICS, we have allies like the US, France, and Japan who see through Pakistan's terror tactics. The US has historically supported IWT compliance, but also backs India's counter-terrorism stance. China, Pakistan's lapdog, might try to stir trouble, leveraging their own river disputes with us to prop up Pakistan, but their hypocrisy on water issues weakens their case. The UN's resolutions are non-binding, and India's diplomatic firepower ensures we won't be cowed. Pakistan's cries will fall on deaf ears as the world recognizes their role in destabilizing the region. Diplomatically, Pakistan would throw a tantrum, labeling water control as a casus belli and threatening to nullify the 1972 Simla Agreement, close airspace, expel our diplomats, or downgrade ties. They might posture for war, increasing military readiness along the line of control. But let's not kid ourselves. Pakistan's economy is a wreck. Their military relies on Chinese handouts, and their terror-driven state can't sustain a real fight against India's might. Their threats are hollow, meant to scare us into submission. Meanwhile, India's neighbors like Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal might raise concerns about our water-sharing reliability, fearing we'd act similarly with them. But India's track record as a responsible regional leader, unlike Pakistan's chaos, will reassure them. Pakistan might try to rally the Organization of Islamic Cooperation to isolate us, but their diplomatic weight is laughable compared to India's global influence in SAARC, SCO, and beyond. India's image as a rule-based democracy might take a hit if we're seen violating the IWT, potentially weakening our UN Security Council seat bid or credibility in trade and climate talks. But the world knows Pakistan's terrorism forced our hand. Our moral high ground as a victim of their aggression outweighs their propaganda. Economically, Pakistan might hope for sanctions or trade disruptions to hurt us, but India's economic strength makes us untouchable. Formal sanctions are unlikely. Global powers value our market and strategic role too much. Investor confidence might waver briefly due to regional tensions, but Pakistan's own instability makes them the riskier bet. Aid agencies might hesitate, but India's self-reliance and booming economy can weather any storm, while Pakistan drowns in debt. Strategically, China might ramp up military aid to Pakistan, trying to create a two-front threat. But India's military, with Rafale jets, S-400 defenses, and BrahMos missiles, is more than ready to handle both. Pakistan's desperation could also fuel terrorism, with their militant groups launching infiltrations, cyber attacks, or sabotage in Kashmir or Punjab. But our intelligence agencies, led by RAW, and our robust border defenses are always one step ahead, ready to crush their plots. History shows India's strength in water disputes. In 1948, when we briefly halted canal water to Pakistan post-partition, it forced them to the table, leading to the IWT. A similar move today could jolt Pakistan into rethinking their terror strategy. The Farakka barrage in the 1970s caused Bangladesh to complain at the UN, but we resolved it through agreements, proving our diplomatic maturity. The ICJ's Gabchikovo-Nagimaros ruling against unilateral treaty changes is a challenge, but Pakistan's aggression gives us a unique case. The Nile dispute, where Ethiopia's dam triggered Egypt's threats and UNSC sessions, shows water can escalate tensions, but India's global standing and military edge ensure we'd come out stronger than Pakistan's weak position. Militarily, Pakistan might try to retaliate, targeting our dams or sparking LOC skirmishes. They could push nuclear posturing, but their generals know a war with India would be suicide. Their internal chaos, with provinces like Sindh already protesting Punjab's water hogging, would only worsen if India tightens the Indus flow. In India, Kashmir or Punjab might see local agitation over dam projects, but our government's focus on development and security will keep things under control. Pakistan's terror groups might exploit water grievances, but our forces are ready to neutralize any threat, from infiltrators to cyber attacks. India's reputation as a law-abiding democracy is strong, but we can't let Pakistan's terrorism dictate our actions. If we face Western hesitation or UNSC scrutiny, we'll counter with evidence of Pakistan's terror camps in POK, their ISI's funding of LET, and their violation of every norm of neighborly conduct. Our candidacy for a UNSC seat and leadership in global talks will stand firm, backed by allies who see Pakistan for the failed state it is. Controlling the Indus is about more than water. It's about showing Pakistan that every terror attack will cost them dearly. We'll build those dams, secure our rivers, and make Pakistan regret their evil deeds. This is India's moment. We're a rising superpower with a booming economy, a proud culture, and a military that terrifies our enemies. Pakistan's a collapsing state, drowning in debt and chaos. Their terror plots no match for our resolve. Every martyr, from Mumbai to Pahalgam, fuels our determination to crush their plans. We'll keep striking Poke's terror hubs, ramp up cyber attacks on their networks, and isolate them globally with FATF blacklisting. United from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India's 1.4 billion hearts will ensure Pakistan's defeat. That's my take, folks. India's done tolerating Pakistan's nonsense. It's time to show them who's boss.